Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So, as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page and follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, so everyone, let's get some fire emojis in the chat. So we have Mr. Hotel on here. All right. And then we have Ashara. So with that all being said, hey, Pearly. Hey, Moni. Hey, Vince, I am from the UK, beloved. All right. Hey, Vina, Nita's in Mike's World, Nisi, Samantha, Nina Spark, Mark Ayers from the UK. I see you, beloved. Asha, Warrior Status. Okay, let's get ready to get into it. All right, likes up, like and share. Miss Lils Morris. All right, beloved. Christine, Warrior Status, Vetta's daughter. Fu Manchu. Hello, Kenyatta. I see you, beloved. Okay, Antoinette, Silent D. So let's get into it, people. Let's get into it. Hey, Mr. Hotel, good to see you, says Tasha.
Hey, Tasha.
All right. The L Boogie speaks to show. All right. Judah Queen, I see you. Ryan, Gary. Okay. Kiara. So let's get into it. So you all know that you already know that we're here because these are two former subscribers to Vicki Dillard's channel. Mr. Hotel was one of the V keepers and Ashara was one of the V-Hive. All right. And so with that all being said, they're going to tell us a little bit of intel about what was going on, about things that were said and done, and also some things about the webinars and some of the things that I told you all about yesterday, about some of the things that we, as I call it, we're doing, very similar to what Peter Popoff, the Reverend Peter Popoff, was doing. All right. So let's get into it. So Mr. Hotel, I want you to start first. I want you to tell us, tell everybody how you were following my channel and Wigs, and then what happened when you got exposed, so to speak.
Right. Exactly, because that's exactly what happened. So let's jump. So right along the time when my best friend and I noticed the change in Vicki, we had noticed that she had stopped uploading content to her paid subscription that we were, and not getting any content for months and months on end. And she would pander Instagram saying, oh, stay in touch with me. You can watch, you can watch content that you can go back and listen to. And, and we ultimately that the fashion started to change with her as well. It was becoming, I want to call it seductive or more suggestive, whatever you want to call it. I just know the message. Mm-hmm. So around that time when the content we were literally getting, it was like, okay, well, Queen Ahmadiyyah's videos were popping up. I'm sorry, on my YouTube feed. So when you watch people and you watch certain recommendations come up. So
right, for similar topics.
Yes, I was, and I said, well, you know what? Queen's doing shows all throughout the day. Let me and see what Queen Ahmadiyyah is all about. So I had watched a couple of your energy. I loved your message. I loved that you were reporting on Black news and that you reporting on Al Sharpton and Joy Reid, the League of Men, so repetitive that some of us were just tired of what she was. So when I found you and I started watching your videos, that's what my best friend and I passing the word along to some of my friends saying, hey, follow Queen Ahmadiyyah, follow her on, and we're supposed to spread the word. Mm-hmm. So a little time.
Hold on, Mr. Hotel. They said your voice is going in and out. Okay, so with that all being said, I can hear you. It's check his connection. Queen asked Mr. Hotel to check his connection. It's a little choppy. I can hear you. It is going in and out a little bit, but I can hear what you're saying.
Can you?
I love you too, Eileen, beloved. Okay, so Lady Princess said none of Wig's stories are true. It said VD is messing with your connection. Okay, so I'm just gonna reiterate. I'll be like a translator. I'll reiterate what Mr. Hotel said. Now he says that he was following Vicki. Correct me if I miss anything or leave anything out, whatever. He said that he was following Vicki, and then as he was following her, my videos would pop up, okay, because similar content, I guess, because all both new black media. Okay, so with that all being said, he started asking, or he started looking at my videos or whatever, because he said he was getting tired of Wig because she was always talking about the same thing. Joy Reid, Roland Martin. And I've even told my moderators that that's all she talks about. The same thing, talking about plantation mammies and pappies, never anything really of substance, right? Okay, so now go on from there. And if they have issues.
So what ended up happening was one day I received a DM from Angel to build a rapport with one another. She sent me a DM and she said, "Hey," she said, "I'm not sure, but the Queen has some," and she's speaking about Vicki, "other enemies out there, and we shouldn't be watching their content." And I said, "Please don't mean Ahmadiyyah." And so Angel was like, "Hold on, I'm going to send you some screenshots." So, and one of them was Queen Ahmadiyyah, then another one was another woman, and I don't even remember, and I had never watched her videos at all. And I said to Angel, I said, well, you know that I was watching Queen's videos. I said, someone had to tell you. So at that time, she said, well, I really don't want to get into it. We will support Vicki, and we don't want to mix things and get things, busy. And I said,
chaos or confusion, right?
Right. I said, all right. I said, so unsubscribe from the channels. From
Angel Love said it was Goddess Masterpiece. It was me and Goddess Masterpiece.
Okay. That's who the other.
Okay.
That's
right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Person. So I said, okay, we'll unsubscribe, and because we don't want to start. Well, come to find out, after everything started to unravel, Angel told Vicki that was in your chat that sent her a message, and Angel said, well, what's this? She said, well, just look at it. When I clicked on it, she saw me. She's the one that was in your chat telling Angel to go and tell me.
So Vicki was in the chat.
Correct.
Okay, so listen, let me tell you all what he just said, because Kenyatta is in the chat and she's saying, and then we both unsubscribe. Now, Kenyatta is Mr. Hotel's best friend, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kenyatta and Mr. Hotel said that they were following my channel and they were watching Vicki, and they were subscribed to my channel as well. But Vicki's such a hater for all of her little minions who try to say the Queen hates on her. Honey, please stop. All right. So said that she was telling Angel Love. She was literally in my chat. Wig was. Okay, while she's talking about I'm obsessed with her because I commented on her stupid post. She was literally in my chat. I think she was in my comment section the other night too, because somebody was saying, oh, you've got on a wig, you're obsessed with wig, you're talking about her, but your hair is a wig and all that foolishness. And my spirit told me it was her. But so nevertheless, they said that he says that Wig was in my chat, saw him in the chat, then told Angel Love to tell him that he can't be following both of us. And so he and his best friend Kenyatta unsubscribed because they didn't want any confusion. And because they were loyal to Vicki. They had been following her first. But that just goes to show how nefarious she is and such a hater. Like, she was so intimidated by me that she didn't want her people to follow me and listen to what I'm saying. And then Mr. Hotel, like I said that he was, they were getting tired of the same old repetitive stuff. That all she talked about was Joy Reid and Roland Martin. I told y'all that a long time ago. That's all she talks about. She doesn't go hard in the paint on racism and wanted supremacy. She talks about Black people all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. Okay, continue, beloved.
So, after all of that, Kenyatta and I, we were talking. Hilton, I keep getting alerts for Queen. I'm so funny because we unsubscribed, and I continue to keep getting a little as well. So we felt like there was something that was drawing us towards you. The time when we started to notice all of those things that I had mentioned before, how money for a subscription where we were getting absolutely no content. This was during the time Voice was going at it with Michi when she was getting the copyright. She was getting so Vicki was not telling us, you know what, you guys unsubscribe because I don't have content anymore and you're paying money for no reason. She kept beating around the bush. These are people who are paying for a service that you're $50 a month.
But so she was charging, hold on, let's get this straight. She was charging you all $50 a month. Was it automatically debited from your accounts?
Yes.
And so for mastermind class that she was supposed to have like once a week on Wednesdays?
Yes, it was supposed to be once a week, every week. And every week we were getting that it was canceled. It was canceled. It was canceled. It was canceled. It was months on any content from her at all. And we were sick of it. So subscribe from it because at this point, you're not even being direct with us. You know what? I've gotten my own channel now. I don't have the rights to that content anymore. So you're paying it and you're not going to get anything new. We didn't only subscribe content. So stop telling us, well, you know, I left you guys all of the content. You have stuff to go back to listen to. That's not why anyone subscribes to anything. When you subscribe, you can get on-demand content, and we were not getting that. We weren't getting it at a point. After we had unsubscribed, it was that we noticed the change in behavior going live once a week. After for weeks on end, she was saying, "Oh, I'm coming back with the lives." Never once a week she was coming back with the lives. She would spend 15 after she had that photo shoot and she was posting up those suggestive pictures. She was in the lives talking about all the men that were in her DMs and all this stuff. To listen to that, we don't want to hear that at all. Of course, DMs when you go from being fully clothed to showing a Instagram live. What do you expect?
Hold on. So now when she was telling you all about all the men in her DMs, was this on a live stream or in a private class or something?
This was a live on YouTube, and she spent about 20 minutes talking about you guys out there, they're in my DMs, I can't deal with it. So that's the narcissist coming out, right? The attention. That's the attention hungry behavior, and that is not up for. No one's trying for that. And nobody wanted to hear that out in your DMs.
Right. So let me tell everybody what you said, because it still says a little choppy. Glistening clavicles, Candy J. Queen Candy J, so nefarious. So now I'm gonna tell them what you said, and then Ishara, I want you to talk about Nipplegate, okay? After this, because it all goes hand in hand. So here's the thing. So he says that she came on a live and started telling them how it was so many guys in her DMs after she started dressing like little prostitute, because that's what she dresses like, clearly. And what kind of revolutionary dresses like that, by the way? So after she started dressing scantily clad, shall I say, there was a lot of men in her DMs, and I want you to pay attention, because those are the main ones that are trying to defend her and say that people are hating on her. It's men, okay? And at the end of the day, so she was boasting about that, talking about that or whatever, because she really loves the attention. How are you going to complain that there's so many people in your DMs and you can't take it and deal with it, but you're dressing like like somebody on a Sunset Boulevard at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Exactly.
Okay, make it make sense. Okay, so now, Ishara, let's talk about Nipplegate.
So first, let me just put out there, I'm not a gossiper, right? You know,
we have to expose the nefarious stuff at all.
Yes, I do feel like she needs to be exposed for the simple fact that I was a victim of, like, I believed in her things and I'm thinking that we're going somewhere just as a whole, as a people, and it turns out to be something completely different. So bamboozled, I definitely feel. But as far as, the Dub Nipplegate, what that was, I was the one that contacted Angel, and I was like, hey, like, she's exposing herself. Like, somebody needs to let her know, because what she had on, it was just like a knitted dress, what would be put over a bathing suit, would be put over a swimsuit. And obviously there was nothing underneath it. Like, I really don't know what she's wearing. I'm not, gonna go into that. But I'm the one that was like, Angel, oh my gosh, her nipples were exposed and she was on the live. So pretty much, that was that. And I rarely catch her lives, and it just so happened is one day I picked my phone up and it dinged as soon as I picked my phone up, and I was like, let me see what she's talking about. And I don't even remember what she was talking about, because I was just like, oh Lord, she's exposed.
Okay, you couldn't listen to what she was
Because
talking
you were blinded by the nipple. That's why.
I was concerned. I was like, somebody should let her know that her nipples are showing. Like, I was concerned, just as, at that time I was still a supporter and I considered her a sister and all this other stuff. And, don't want your sister up there just with her stuff out. But I don't understand.
Somebody said she had dog tits. Hold on. Somebody talk nipples to me, they say.
Listen. I know the chat is going.
Oh my gosh, I cannot. I absolutely cannot.
Okay.
Hold on. Now, Ishara, now I want you to tell us about the debit card, the ATM card, and the key. Tell us about that. And then I'm going to show that reference to Peter Popoff, because I said yesterday that I'll bet. Now, I didn't know, but I said, remember, Mr. Hotel, I said, I bet y'all that went to that webinar, I bet you gave y'all some trinkets too, just like Peter Popoff does.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and tell us about it, beloved.
So, the ATM card, I think it was a 3-part series, Secret
Let
Money.
me pull it up. Hold on, beloved. Let me pull it up so they can see what we're talking about here. Okay, so you all, this is what I want you all to see. The ATM card and the key, honey. This is what Wig was selling. And please tell them what the key was for, but don't tell them yet. Wait, let me show it. And then tell them what this was for. I mean, beyond nefarious. That's it right there, you guys. That's what Dillard sold them. That little cheap ATM card made of paper, no less, and that key. Now tell us about it, beloved. What was that all about?
So the ATM card was essentially to call in abundance and finances into your, experience. Like, you were pulling from the unseen into the scene for you. And she sent, with it came, like, just a regular, some green print paper, and she had a prayer that you're supposed to say. I think we're supposed to say it for like 7 days. We put it on our altar. And we're supposed to, and from that, the magic was supposed to begin as calling to our experience prosperity and all these different things. So, and then, you put, your hand over your womb, and I am woman. And then she had all these words. So that was the ATM card, because it's secret money in your womb. So, and then there's the key. And I just took my key off today. Excuse me. This is my key, and I wore it faithfully, right? And one of the and it's the ancestral key that's supposed to connect you to the magic of the ancestors, to unlock your gifts, to unlock
Your DNA.
Right.
Pause right there. Pause right there. Now listen, didn't I tell you all that this witch wasn't unlocking and activating no darn DNA? She told them to buy this key that I believe cost $27. And she told them that key was going to unlock their DNA. Please show the key again, beloved. Please show them the key. She said this was going to activate the DNA codes. Honey, a whole scam.
I threw my key away.
That's what it was.
Once all this
the
stuff.
Warrior status says scamalicious. All right. Now y'all tell me she's not a whole fraud, a scammer. She's still doing the same thing she did before she went to prison. She's just doing it the legal way. All right. That's what she's doing. She sold them a key that's no bigger than a Barbie pin for $27 and said this is a key to unlocking and activating your DNA and putting you in touch with the ancestors. I absolutely cannot. And how much was that ATM card? About $22, right? For you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ishara said she spent $11 on the ATM card because she bought it when they first came out and went on sale. And then afterwards, Mr. Hotel bought it, I guess, after the discount price was over, and he had to pay $22. So he bought one for him and his father. That was $44, and he's already showed me the receipt. Hold up your well, you don't have to because are you using your phone?
Nope, I can show you the receipt.
Okay. Yeah, hold it up and show the Cash App receipts, honey, because this is all nefarious at the 4th degree. Teresa said, open up doors you can't close. Right. And I want you to tell them, speaking of that, I want you to tell them, beloved, after he finishes, tell them, there it is right there. He paid $44 for 2 ATM cards. You see it right there in the small prints. There it is. There's the receipts. Now, Ashara, tell us about that key, because today when I was having a conversation with you and you took the key out, let them know what you said and also when you picked it up.
So what I had noticed about, because I wear my crystals with purpose and intention daily, and what I had recognized probably a couple of weeks ago is that whenever I was taking off my crystals at the end of my day, that I would just kind of feel this weight literally being lifted off of me. It was just like, whew, I've just noticed like why all of a sudden are they feeling heavy? And I'll tell you, I've been wearing this key, I think since either November or December, but I just kind of zoned into it. And so when me and Queen were talking today, I was like, oh my God, I'm still wearing this key. Let me take this off. And when I took it off, a couple of minutes later, I realized I didn't have that heavy feeling on me. And I was just like, oh, wow. And I am an energetic being. I am everything empath, highly sensitive to energy. So that was very pertinent to me, that I could no longer feel the heaviness that I had noticed that was with my crystals. And just now, even now when I picked it up, there is a very recognizable uneasy feeling to the key. And I am not one to say that lightly, like again, but what I do want is things to be exposed that are lies, especially when it comes to the well-being and the mental stability of our people. Right. And so selling things that you're saying are that have an ill intention behind it, and then you're lying about what's really going on with what you are advertising, that's a no-go, because I started following Vicki. She had 2 things. She was a spiritualist, presumably so, and then she was B1, presumably so. And so now to see these things are not as she put out there to be, that's so unacceptable, because we're moving into a new age, and we everybody can't go into the new age that's coming, and liars and thieves are one of them.
And she's both, unfortunately. Now, someone said that's a skeleton key. Myth King, that is a skeleton key, beloved. If y'all saw that movie, the skeleton key, it's clearly nefarious. Now, with that all being said, this woman is a hot mess. Okay, so she gave you all the keys and she sold you all that stuff. I want y'all to pay attention. Now, I told you all, family, I told you all earlier that now she's calling her people #Vicki Nation. That sounds like a cult, because it reminds me of Carbon Nation, and she reminds me of a female version of Nature Boy. Now, I'm going to get into something in a moment to break it all down so you all understand what I'm Slicky Vicky exposed on Nipplegate. This is what they're putting in the chat. Trusso said the nefariousness of it all. Absolutely. Okay, so also creepy and disgusting, they say. Wow, Queen Candy J said bomb queen. Okay. So this is beyond nefarious. Angela said, y'all are looking so good. Thank you, beloved. So now let's talk about it, because here's the thing. She's selling these fake fraudulent trinkets, acting as though these things are going to get you access to the ancestors. It's going to enhance your life. If you carry this in your wallet, how long did she tell y'all to carry that ATM card? Every day or what? In your wallet, purse, whatever?
Yes. Well, what it was is that if I'm not mistaken, so, correct me if I'm wrong because I've had it for a while, but we were supposed to let it stay on our altar for like 7 days, and we were supposed to say the affirmation that came with it. And then we were supposed to put the affirmation that it came with along with the ATM card in our wallet. And whenever
Yes.
we saw it, we were supposed to speak these intentions into the card, and this would be to bring in the abundance and prosperity.
So 21 to 30 days, according to Angel. So now, what do you remember the affirmation that you were told to say?
I do not remember the app because I just read it off of the paper. It
Okay.
kind of started with "I am woman" and something else, and then "Ashe" and "so it is." We sealed it with that. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
threw, as soon as all of this stuff started, I automatically threw my
yeah, I
ATM
threw mine out
card
too.
out. I threw my key out, and I threw also went to my dad, and I took the key and threw his out, and I took the ATM card and I threw it out too.
Good, because it's a demonic ritual, is what Vince I am from the UK is saying. Now, let me go to this footage that I did yesterday with Peter Popoff, and you all pay attention to the similarities. Hold on, let me pull this up. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Now, we got to go over this Peter Popoff again because I'm going to show y'all the direct connection. Okay, here we go. Today, you obey God in this. Now, let me just tell y'all something. Let me stop right there. Y'all know that Wig does the same thing. Those into her webinars. Y'all know the same thing. She told y'all to do those incantations at that money in the womb, secret money in the womb. She told y'all to do those incantations for 30 days. That's what I've been told by several of her subscribers at Foolish Webinar. They said they were told to do the incantations for 30 days and everything's going to change. And then y'all heard yourself when she's talking about that coffee with Terrain Hicks, the occultist. They asked how many days, and he said 21 days. So I'm telling you, this ain't Peter Popoff. They're not doing the same con game, the same damn fraud, scam as Peter Popoff. Let me continue. I think I'm proving my points yet again. Step 4, Psalm 34:19. I told y'all the devil's always mixed the scripture so it sounds more believable. To the feeble-minded, Psalm 34:19 is the key to unlocking your marriage. Open your checkbook and write the amount of $34.19. Now I want y'all to pay attention to what I just said, that Peter Popoff said. It is the key. You heard that, right? That's why she sold y'all those keys. Pay attention. Let me go back. It said it's the key to unlocking things. And write my miracle seed in the memo. If you want to sow a seed for a loved one, check for $34.19 and write miracle seed for a loved one in the memo. If you send an additional check, I will prophetically seek the Lord on their behalf as well as yours. So you mean to tell me y'all need somebody else to seek the Lord on your behalf? You can't do it for yourself? Let me continue. Doesn't this all sound familiar? All of those who attended Wig's webinars? I'm sure it does. He says, I feel led of God as his prophet of prosperity to ask you in Jesus' name to sow the number 8 in it. And the seed God sold me is $28. Don't let Satan talk you out of sowing this $28 seed of new beginnings. Say what now? Don't let Satan talk you out of it, honey. Satan is the one telling you to send it. Pay attention, okay? Peter Popoff and Wig are both devils in the 3rd degree. Try and write back within 24 hours. There are further prophetic instructions I must share with you when I receive your worthy portion. Your offer of 33, and 33 very significant in numerology. We already know the 33 degrees of masonry and all that. And your prayer page back this week. As God's prophet of increase, I am directed to ask you to sow a seed of $40. This is the seed God will use to break loose your harvest of miracles. More lies, honey. And as I've told you before, people like this target the religious people. Okay, because religious people are more susceptible because they have more giving hearts and they are more willing to believe in something. Because these people, more so than others, want to have something to believe in. They look to people for guidance. Okay. Several of these letters came with objects Popoff said would spark our financial miracle. I'm sure Wiggs probably you all some objects in those webinars at one point or another. I'm just guessing. I've never been there, but y'all know if it's true or not. They included a green prayer cloth, one of 4 color varieties, which Popoff said to saturate with positive thoughts of money, windfalls, and opportunities, and a wristband with several thousands printed on it that were instructed to wear for exactly 8 minutes. Here's a gallery of the items. I'm going to show you the items, but here's the thing. Didn't Wig and that dude Terrain say on that video that they wanted? I wrote it down. Hold on. They said something about, she said shuh. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's S-H-U-H. She spelled it out. And she said 54 times a day for 54 to 108 times per day. That's what she said for them to say, whatever she was telling them to say. They need to do it 54 to 108 times a day for 21 days. Now, y'all don't think that sounds crazy as hell. And that's the same stuff Peter Popoff's saying, honey. Please wake up, black people. Oh, please wake. There are the little handkerchiefs, whatnot, that he sent for the people to saturate so they can get those blessings and financial rewards and miracles, honey. Signs and wonders, as Vicki calls them, honey. She's a whole con, just like Peter Popoff. All right, whole con. Now, let me show y'all one more nefarious video of this devil milking people out of their money and getting people to lie about testimonies and all that BS. I want you all to know, beloveds, right here today, if you are receiving any blessings and miracles in your life or anything that you thought wouldn't happen that does happen, that came from the Most High Yah, okay? That came from the Most High Allah, Yah, whatever you want to call the Most High. At the end of the day, that's not coming from any person that's performing anything over you, okay? Your blessings come from the Most High. And you can also bless yourself because we are gods ourselves. Psalm 82:6, you're all gods born of the Most High. When you manifest things, when you say your affirmations and you visualize things and you speak positivity upon yourself and life into yourself, you can manifest things yourself. So don't sit here and let somebody keep conning you by telling you that you need to buy this coffee with spirits attached to it. Yeah, demonic spirits. And then he talked about he gonna chant over the coffee. Honey, I don't want nobody chanting nothing over my stuff, okay? Please, you don't even know what he's chanting if you're not there to see it and hear it for yourself. So please don't be fooled by this con game. That's all it is, honey. And this ain't about hate. This is about realization, awakening, and just spreading truth to power. At the end of the day, and let me say this again. Now, the other day I quoted the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan the other day, and I misspoke. But I'm going to quote that again. And when the minister says, hurl stones at lies, okay? That's what you do. You don't sit there and listen to lies and fall for that BS. You hurl stones at lies, all right? That's what you do. Now, the other day, I mistakenly said hurl stones at the truth, but no, you hurl stones at lies. And at the end of the day, stop listening to the lies of the devil's minions who've come to fool you and who come upon you as false prophets, okay, as wolves in sheep's clothing. Okay, because these people are nefarious and they are not of God. They have no God in them. And I want y'all to think about this and think real clearly. If Wig was such a spiritual person and she was so high vibrational, why would she put Angel Love's stuff, her information, personal information all over the internet? Why would she lie and post those things about Angel being a fraud? And those are absolutely lies. We've already proven behind the scenes that they're lies, but y'all gonna see very soon just how they're lies. Okay, sit back. Okay, so now, with that all being said, here's the thing. And so, Ishara, now she told you all what to do with the keys. She told both of you all what to do with the keys and the debit cards and all of that stuff. And so, there was something else you told me. I can't exactly remember, but it was something else that you said. I thought it was about the keys. Nevertheless, okay, tell us about the webinar. Either one of the webinars. Like, was the information that was giving something, just amazing, like something just so, something you'd never heard before? Oh, you know what? Tell us about the things that she said that were similar to Queen Afua.
Well, yes, I'm a sacred woman. I ascended through the gateways last year, and so I'm very familiar with her texts, her books, and her teachings as far as Queen Afua goes. And when I initially attended the Secret Woman or the Secret Money in Your Womb, that webinar, just, and I cannot specifically say, but it was just extremely familiar to Queen Afua's writings, and her book was published over 20 years ago. So, and for me, it's just like, oh, okay, well, maybe she read the text, or maybe she got the same download. You know, at the time, I wasn't doubting anything, right? But it was extremely reflective and extremely similar to Queen's text. And I do remember mentioning this to Angel, you know, a little bit after, and she was like, yeah, she's aware that it aligns with Queen Afua's teachings. And it was just like, I just kind of was just like, side note, you know, it's just like, okay. But you know, with that, it's just, you know, you
it's
can't
the fact
tell
that she actually fraudulently took the woman's work and used it for her own financial gain.
no,
Because
right, there was no credit given to Queen Afua or anything, or saying that she had learned this from somewhere else. Just the assumption of how she taught us is that all of this came from spirit. These were downloads that she was revealed,
thank you.
you
Now,
know.
now my moderators,
These
you
are
all know. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Hotel.
This is all the time. She would tell us that, you know, she had these dreams. She had these premonitions to her from spirits. She would see numbers and things like that. Gave anyone else any credit at all.
Let me tell you where she got that from.
Go ahead. Yep.
No, go ahead, beloved. I'll tell you in a second. Go ahead.
You know, when you experience, I didn't have anyone to compare her to. So I'm thinking that this woman is legit. This is all original. Fast forward up until now, and now we have all these receipts showing where took that from that person. Nothing that's being presented is being that it was originally from her.
Right. Nothing was presented that was originally from her. Hold on. Let me ask the mod something. Moderators, do me a favor. Who is the person in the chat that said they hate to see Black women fighting? Somebody, because I can't get this chat to scroll the way. Hold on. Let me go to my phone. Hold on. Let me see who this is, because I'm about to tell them a thing or two.
And I have just I'm sorry, I have just a few more moments.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
No, I just wanted to say, I just have a few more moments because I do have to get back to work, but I did, you know, just kind of wanted to partake in this simply for the fact, you know, just to be all honest with you, for Angel. You know, Angel is my sister. I love her. I got her back through this whole thing. Well, her personal information, that was so wrong. That was so wrong. That was crossing all lines and boundaries and everything. And, you know, and that is just like, okay, just to get the word out there, just from a different perspective. Like I said, I am not one to gossip. Queen, I have come into your comments under your videos, and I was just like, y'all, can we just please get together? I'm very much a person of light. So my partake in this is not to go after Vicki. Mine's is, if there's any takeaway that anybody gets from me, is to know that Vicki is no different from me and you. We are all connected to the same source. We are all God in this, working together. And I know that me personally, when I was drawn to Vicki, it was from a place of lack within myself. And I got what I needed. You chew up the meat, spit out the bones. Any person that proclaims to be a leader, or that proclaims to be a prophetess, or whatever she calls herself now, guru, goddess, or whatever, you have to sit in your own space, and you have to get what the Most High has for you. And you never ever take everybody's word for word. If religion has taught us one thing, it is not to eat the word of another man, but to eat the word of the Holy Spirit that is around all of us and that we all have access to. Nobody is without that access.
Now let me say, go ahead. Let me say this.
And, you know, yes.
No, go ahead and finish, beloved.
No, but you know, and you know, us as former V-Hive members, like, I don't regret anything, right? But I do feel bamboozled. I think when I was talking to Queen, I got a little teary-eyed just out of the fact of being betrayed, right? Because it's coming out of these lies and all of this other stuff. And as a people, we have to stop doing this somewhere, somehow. We have got to
Absolutely.
stop perpetuating the same sin. We just have to stop. Whatever Vicki is lacking, whatever she needs, like, God bless her. I hope she get what she needs. But us as a people, like, people coming after Angel and then coming after you, Queen, because you're revealing what the truth is. Y'all, we got to sit back and somewhere we got to figure this out.
That's
You know,
right.
so
That's right. You're absolutely right, beloved. Thank you. But I want to say this before you go. I don't agree that we're all connected to the same source. You see, there are some of us that are connected to the divine source, the Most High, and there's some of us that are connected to the lower source. Those are the people who engage in the satanic, demonic things of another realm, and those are the people who engage in black magic and all those things and try to mix it with the Most High's gift of spirituality. You see, we are spiritual beings living a human experience, and so therefore we're naturally spiritual and we're spiritually connected to the Most High. But some of these people that become low vibrational, what they do to disturb our spirit and to disturb our connection with the Most High, with the divine source, is they start mixing and dabbling black magic and this low vibrational energy and frequencies with the Most High spirituality. And so they combine the two, and then they come and start quoting scripture. This is what devils do. They speak of this in the Bible. And it's funny because she would often quote the Bible, but she was doing that to make it seem as if she's legitimate. She's a whole false prophet, and she always has been. And for anyone who thinks that Vicki Dillard changed, she didn't change. This is absolutely who she's always been. As I told you, she's the same person she is that she was 10 years ago. If she had committed all that fraudulent stuff and scams and then paid atonement, given atonement for her sins, and then come back as a new person, because all of us fall short of the glory of God, as I've said. But she has not done that. She continues to lie. She continues to blame everyone else. She continues to say she's being attacked, that everyone else is hating on her. That's not accepting accountability. She's a complete narcissist. A narcissist will never accept accountability. What they'll do when you bring proof, facts, and receipts is they'll do everything in their power to deflect and gaslight and try to make it seem as if you're the problem and not them, as if you're just mad because of who they are, when in fact they're nobody. And that's why they have to pretend to be everybody else and use everybody else's works, because they have none. That's all I want to tell you, beloved. But thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, now I'll talk to you later. Okay.
I say, oh, and allow me to rephrase. We all have the ability. We all have the ability to connect. Well, let me say that. We're not
absolutely.
All
yes, absolutely. Beloved.
All right. Thank y'all so much, Queen. Thank you so much for what you do. Bye,
You're
Mr.
welcome, beloved.
Peace.
All right. Peace and blessings. Okay, Sonia says, beautiful Queen, as we black people, I'm sorry, this chat's going so fast. Narcissists always take the low road and manipulate. Yes, absolutely. That's what she has been doing. So now with that all being said, someone said, beloved, that they think your Bluetooth, do you have your Bluetooth on? They said they thought your Bluetooth was maybe messing with the audio. Someone, I can't remember who said it.
I'm going Okay, I'm back. Is that better?
Is that better, you guys? Tony Curtis called her Vicki Madoff. The guy who was in the Ponzi
I'm on my
schemes.
iPad.
Absolutely.
I'm on my iPad, so I picked it up. Maybe if I walk into a different area, and how? I mean,
okay.
How is that?
It sounds fine right there.
Okay.
Stop right there.
All right. Okay.
It sounds fine right there. Okay. So everybody's saying yes. It sounds better.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Let me turn this light on so y'all can see.
Okay. So now here's the thing. Now I want you to go back over the part, because your audio was a little messed up, when you said that you were receiving, you said you were still getting my notifications.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so tell them about that part again.
So when Kenyatta and I were, and we kept getting the notifications, you know, coincidence. I believe that we're all drawn to one another for specific reasons. Even if you don't know those reasons, I usually come to you later on when you listen. You know, when you listen, come to you.
Mm-hmm.
So
your audio's off, beloved. Your Mr. Hotel, your audio's off. Can't hear you. Your audio's off. Can you hear me? I think you accidentally muted yourself. I'm going to take you off and add you back on. Hold on and see if that helps. Okay. For some reason, your audio stopped. Okay, yeah, okay, do that. Okay, so he's going to go out and come back in, beloveds, because something happened with his audio. Vicki Voodoo Keys is messing him up. I think some nefariousness is going on. They say, hold on. There you go.
I can hear you. Okay, great. Okay, great. So this is around the time when we started with Vicki. It was a change to us because we didn't have anything to compare it. At this point, we had said, you know what? Everybody cannot be lying about this woman. X cannot be lying. Queen Ahmadiyyah cannot be lying. Also was sending me when we started to talk about the things that were going on and how she was treating. No way that everybody can be saying the same thing about one person. And where Angel had sent me, you know, and everyone has seen these things that were posted at the Twitter space where people went in there and they spoke their truth and the things that they witnessed. So there's no way in hell that all of us could be lying one person. There's no way. All right, so what can I compare that to? So, all right, we see what Kelly and Bill Cosby. Well, at the end of the day, we know that some of those women were liars, but we also, it's the same concept. You apply that concept all throughout life. People are saying one thing about something, more than likely there's going to be a few in there that are telling the truth. You know, we just kept feeling a magnetic energy towards. I said to Angel, I said, you know what? I said, I'm subscribing back to Queen Ahmadiyyah. I'm telling my best. I'm done with Vicki. I'm done. And the last straw for me, after we had noticed how, you know, we were wasting money on her and, you know, she wasn't giving us that she treated Angel. That was the last straw for me because Angel, I consider Angel to be one of my friends. And when you're to go in your own live and disrespect your moderators and disrespect their life, their face, as if you're challenging them, that's enough for me to say, you know what, I'm going to exit left.
Right.
She's my friend. I'm never going to disrespect my friends, especially when it's blatant like that. I don't get down like that. That was enough for me. And Angel and I had a conversation, and she said, you know, you're one of the biggest supporters, you know, as far as getting the word out there, spreading the word about her. And I said, well, you know what, Angel, I don't regret anything that I've ever done for her because it worked. And it was at a point where I thought that I was dealing with someone that was. So I don't take any of that back. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to treat people like she then make Angel out to be some street whore that she's not.
But she can't make anybody out to be that when she's sitting up there on a whole live with her nipples out. Clearly.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So for me, that was the last straw. I was done. I was done. I've been in your videos. I've been in the chats, and there are people who have come in. Oh, Mr. Hotel, why are you in Queen Ahmadiyyah's chats? You know, if Vicki saw it's a confliction, and you know, what are you doing? Then one person was in the chat and asked, oh, I wouldn't have dropped Vicki as fast as Mr. Hotel did. You know what? I don't owe explanation about anything. You don't pay my bill. You don't pay my bills. I don't know your friend. And at the end of the day, if I decide to move on to another content creator.
Exactly. Now let me say this. Let me say this, beloveds, because here's the thing. You see what Vicki Dillard is doing. She has been using the 48 laws of power. Okay, that's what she's been doing. She's been using black magic and all this other stuff, as well as the 48 laws of power. C stands for the secret money in your womb. That ain't everything. All right. Vicki got those Medusa wig braids. Okay. So now listen to this. I'm going to read you all this because I thought this was interesting, because remember, I told you all the other day when Angel Love was on and we did the video, I talked about how Wig was charging $144 for the webinar that she had on June the 26th. And I said she likely chose that number, in my opinion, because that is referenced in the Bible and very significant in numerology. They talk about the 144,000 that'll go to heaven as kings and priests. They talk about the 12 people from the 12 tribes of Israel and all of that. But here's the thing. That key that she had, that she sold them, was $27. And it's very coincidental, I would say, or ironic, should I say, not coincidental. I don't believe in coincidences, but ironic that she is using the 27th law of power on people. Remember, I told you all earlier today that I said she seems to be doing the same stuff as Nature Boy. She has these people under her control. And I do believe it's because now I remember what I wanted to ask Ishara. Now I remember. Okay. She said that she chanted, Vicki said that she chanted over those keys. She chanted over the keys. Do you remember what she did to the keys, beloved? Because Ishara said that Vicki had chanted, put them on her altar for a few days and chanted over them, right? Which I believe was casting spells.
I do know that she did say, you know, the things that she did do her magic over them, and God only knows.
Right. Because I want you all to pay attention, family. She calls herself a magnetic witch. And this is her. If you go to, she's on this guy's channel, and she literally calls herself a magnetic witch. Hold on, let me pull it up. So anytime you're talking about witches and witchcraft, that has nothing to do with African spirituality or your ancestral spirituality. Absolutely nothing to do with that. Okay, Tony Curtis said the pink room is the devil's portal. Yes, absolutely. We're going to talk about that on another live. Absolutely, I'm going to break down why she had on all that pink in those pictures and had the room like a little girl's room. Pay attention. All nefarious. Now listen to this. I'm going to play this audio. I'm not going to show the video.
You can always find your kind of people. It's all sizing dimension. To be honest with you, a part of my assignment in the earth is to mix the worlds. It's to merge the worlds. Jacob's ladder, I am. Jacob's ladder was about having access to multiple dimensions, going up and down, having an interdimensional passport. That's what Vicki's going for. So that's you. And so the people that have problem with men and problem with this and problem, I was disabled, making $100 and some a week. And when I changed my mind, when I could hardly see and walk.
Stop right there. Stop right there. I'm about to show y'all something. Y'all, I want y'all to pay attention. Hold up. I got the receipts. All right, hold up. Wait a minute. Now, y'all heard that, right? I'm going to play that again. Let me pull up this video real quick because I'm about to make this all make sense.
This is so sick.
Now, I want y'all to listen to this. Okay. Now I want you all to pay attention to what she says. Listen really closely to what she says, because this is the exact same thing that one of Peter Popoff's fake actors said when they gave a testimony. I'm going to rewind it back.
People say there's a short circuit with men out there. You outnumber us, or we're in jail, or a lot of reasons. Make no sense. I live like that. I don't fool with mere mortals. I've never had, because I'm willing to do what not everybody else is willing to do. So when you first, it goes back to the point I made a few minutes ago. We must know who we are, our divine nature.
Hold on, let me fast forward a little.
Magic that I do. I infuse magic in every single part as much as possible of my life. And so I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but I want you to know we don't have to accept what everybody else accepts. When you know who you are.
Hold on.
That was funny. That was funny. And so the people that have problem with men and problem with this and problem, I was disabled, making $100 and some a week. And when I changed my mind, when I could hardly see and walk, and could have been taken out for a.
She said she was disabled, making $106 per week. She could hardly see and walk. Now watch this. Watch this. Lights up, everyone. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance.
I'll tell you, God shocked her. Okay, come over here. Man, I better move out of the way. Woo! How long's it been since you ran like that? Years! Well, I'll tell you, get ready, because you're going to get up and go. You're going to get up and go for Jesus.
His wife called and got the miracle spring water for him. He had excruciating back pain, or leg pain. He had excruciating leg pain. So bad he was in tears. He followed the instructions of the miracle spring water and has had no leg, he's off the medication and has had doesn't need surgery and has a no leg pain since. Pastor, this sister called and got the miracle spring water after watching you on television.
Okay, I think y'all seen enough, honey. Now let me just continue. Let me fast forward. There's another video where this woman says exactly what Wig said. The day, that's not coming from any. Okay, here it is.
The miracle spring water.
My husband brought the spring water up and I drank it. And I'm speaking today. I had no speech, totally paralyzed, and now I'm testifying.
You had sent me the water and I used it. You told me I was going to get a check for $7,000. Sure enough, I got a check in the mail.
Now, did you all hear the lady? Did you all hear what the white woman said? She said she used the spring water. She couldn't see. She was paralyzed. She couldn't walk. That's what Wig said. She said, I was on disability making $106 a week. I couldn't see and I could barely walk. She just said the same thing. Let me rewind it back. She said the same thing that woman said, honey. All such a fraud. Any blessings and miracles in your life or anything that you thought who've come to fool you and
for over $45,000 that my second mortgage was paid off.
Get the spring water, drink the spring water, or whatever you need to do with it. It really works.
Release your faith now by calling for your free packet of miracle spring water. It's free just for calling.
Now I want y'all to
The miracle spring water.
My husband brought the spring water up and I drank it. And I'm speaking today. I had no speech, totally paralyzed, and now I'm testifying.
Now, the only difference is that woman said she had no speech and she was totally paralyzed. She couldn't walk. Now, Wig said she couldn't see and she could barely walk. So what now? She's using the same thing, but hold on. Because another thing, she copies everything from everybody. I told you all. She copies everything. Hold up. Let me pull this up too. Hold on. She copies everything from someone else. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I was trying to pull up a video of Kaya where she was using the gavel, but I don't know exactly what part it's in. But hold on. Now listen to this. Now Jackson sent us this today. Jackson was previously Wig's moderator. Hold on, let me pull this
he was
up.
moderator.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if you all can hear this.
Islam, Namaste, Assalamu alaikum. 2018.
Now, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Please tell me y'all can hear that, right? You can hear that?
That's how she starts her shows.
She was saying Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, Hotep, all of that. She copied that from a man who has a YouTube channel, and his channel is called Crumb TV. And he's been saying this for years, before Wig was even on ScrewTube. So she copied that. Free the land, beloved. Ma'at Hotel. Assalamu alaikum. She copied that. She copied everything. Go ahead, beloved.
Let's not forget, anyone who's watched her videos. So to constantly remind people, well, I know other people. This is what she other people, covered this topic earlier, but now I'm getting on it. So when you have to start your videos that way, continuously say that over and over and over again, what are you saying? You do videos all throughout the day, right? And so when Vicki used to do her lives between 5:30 and 6:30, so were you copying the content? Because you would also throw out there all the time, well, you got one woman show and I have an autoimmune illness and I'm the only one that's doing the research. Say that over and over and over and over again. You're clear there's no need for you to mention those things.
Right. So let me just tell you all exactly what she was doing. So it makes you wonder if she's really sick, and she said she was. Right, Abdul, beloved, exactly. But let me tell you all what she was. Let me tell you all what she was doing. Now, you all know that I go live different times during the day and multiple times during the day. So Wig would literally watch my videos, right? And then she would go live and repeat my talking points and lie and say, oh, I'm a one-woman show and I have my illness and all these things, and I'm the only one who does the research. She wasn't doing no research. She wasn't doing no research. She was watching me because I do research. And that's why sorry people who are slackers and who are not researchers or scholars, they'll steal my talking points because they know I'm doing the real research. So that's why, and for those of you who didn't understand why I was getting ticked off, I'm getting ticked off because if I spend hours doing research and gathering details and all of that, then somebody sit there and listen to my broadcast and go back and repeat everything I said. Honey, if you do the same story, that's one thing because you can just do your own talking points. But if you're sitting there listening to everything I'm saying and going back and repeating it, that's what she was doing. Now, I've been telling y'all she was copying my talking points, but I know y'all should know that by now because I showed the receipts. Now, let me just tell y'all what she's doing. She's using numerology and astrology. She's mixing it all together, and she likely noticed that I was studying numerology and all this stuff. But let me tell you what she was doing. She's using the 48 laws of power. Okay, she's using the 48 laws of power. And I remember that Jawara Karega told me that I said something about the 48 laws of power like 2 years ago on a live, and Wig likely heard me talking about it and then went and started reading on it. Now, let me just tell y'all what she's doing. I want y'all to pay attention. Tell me if this isn't her. And so she's using the 27th law of power. And this is what it says. And tell me this isn't what she's doing. Play on people's need to believe, to create a cult-like following. What did I tell y'all last night? Last night I told you all that she sits there and tries to use Christians and religious people because they have a need to believe in something. And she knows this because she's a former pastor or prophetess or whatever. She worked in the church. When she scammed all those people for mortgage fraud, those were Black people in the church. So that's what she did. Now, mind you, with that all being said, she's using the 48 laws of power, law number 27. And the reason it's significant because I say number 27 is because she sold those keys for $27, those little small keys. Now, it goes on to say, play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Her followers are like a cult. They go and do whatever she says to do, to whom she says to do it, and whether they know it's right or wrong, they go and they act at the behest of what she says. Now, people have an overwhelming desire to believe in something. Become the focal point of such desire by offering them a cause, a new faith to follow. That's what she's doing. She's using her spirituality mixed with witchcraft. That's the faith that she's following. And then it says, keep your words vague, but full of promise. She's promising them your life's going to change. If you use this key, it'll untap your DNA. It'll activate your DNA. If you use this debit card, this ATM card, put it in your purse, put it in your wallet, say these mantras or whatever, and then it'll get your financial success. Nobody's gotten financial success yet. Okay. Goes on to say, promise, keep your words vague and full of promise. Emphasize enthusiasm over rationality and clear thinking. So she wants people to be excited and enthused so they're not using their critical thinking skills. And so they're not really thinking rationally because it's easier to manipulate and deceive and use reverse psychology and narcissistic tactics. That's what she's doing. Now, give your disciples rituals to perform. Didn't I tell you all that several of her subscribers said that she did a satanic sex ritual in that secret money in the womb? And didn't I also tell you that people who went to another of her webinars, and I played you some of the footage, she actually was telling them that she wanted them to do these incantations for 30 days straight. These are rituals. Okay, give your new disciples rituals to perform. Ask them to make sacrifices on your behalf. She asked them to make sacrifices when she says sow a seed. Sow a seed and invest in yourself. I don't like cheat. I'm allergic to cheat. The sacrifice is your financial money. She wants you to spend money with her. She'll tell you you're investing in yourself, but you're really investing in her for bull crap. She's not doing any of the things that she says. Ask them to make sacrifices on your behalf. Another way she's asking them to make sacrifices on her behalf is to have them go and flag people's channels. Go out here and do nefarious things to other people whom she wants to take down. And here's the thing I want to say. She also went live tonight, like 15 or 10 minutes before I went live. She did that on purpose. She did that on purpose because she doesn't want her followers, the ones that she has left, she doesn't want them listening to this and hearing this. She's very strategic. Pay attention. She does everything with intents and purposes. Now, it also goes on to say, in the absence of organized religion and grand causes, your new belief system will bring you untold power. That's what she wants. She wants untold power. She's using the 27th of the 48 laws of power. That's why she sold the keys for $27. That's why she lied and told them the keys were going to untap their DNA. Now, you mean to tell me she had people pay $150-something, $157 for a webinar where she lied and said she was going to activate their DNA. Talk about the ancestors. And she gives them a cheap debit card made out of construction paper and laminated, and then gives them a key, a small little key that's $27, and tells them this key is going to help you activate your DNA. She's a
to
whole
what she
snake
said.
oil salesman. That's what I've been telling y'all. Now, for anybody who doesn't want to accept the truth, and the truth is a lie. But hold on, let me show y'all this too. Because one of her little minions was in the chat threatening me. Hold on, let me show y'all this receipt first.
Mm.
All right, let me pull this up on the screen. Oh, so nefarious. Y'all see this, right? This is what she said. Let me read it to you. Vicki Dillard. She said, some of y'all slowness, that's why she got the turtle, let devils trick off your destiny and connection. Stay where you lay. Who else said don't let the devil trick you? Didn't Peter Popoff say that? Didn't Peter Popoff just say on the audio that I played for you, the video that I showed you? Didn't Peter Popoff, let me play it back just in case y'all forgot. Didn't he say don't let the devil trick you into not sowing a seed? This is what, let me show it to you again. Let me show it to you again. Hold on. And then we're going to go back to Peter Popoff. Now, while I'm looking for that, beloved, if you have something to say, feel free to while I'm looking for that. Here it is. Some of y'all slowness or turtles let devils trick you off your destiny and connection. Stay where you lay. As I'm rebuilding the hashtag Vicki brand from scratch, I'm reconnecting with my true supporters, aka hashtag Vicki Nation. Let's stay in touch. So she literally is going off on the people because they're listening to the truth about her. She's trying to shame them and blame them for not being spellbound by her foolishness again. This is what she is doing.
Right.
It is all so crazy. Hold on, let me pull this Peter Popoff thing back up. Now, she said, you let the devil trick you. Isn't that what she said? Now, let me go back to Peter Popoff. Let me go back to Peter Popoff because he said too, don't let the devil trick you into not sowing your seed or paying the money or getting the miracle water or whatever.
Do you need a miracle? Real people with real needs are receiving real life-changing miracles when they use the miracle spring water.
My husband brought the spring water up and I drank it. And I'm speaking today. I had no speech, totally paralyzed, and now I'm testifying.
You had sent me the water and I used it. You told me I was going to get a check for $7,000. Sure enough, I got a check in the mail. It was exactly $7,000.
This faith tool will help you to see liberation from the bondage of debt. It's free. I want to send it to you. No obligation. Call me now.
And when you told me to anoint my checkbook yesterday, I received a letter for over $45,000 that my second mortgage was paid off.
Get the spring water, drink the spring water, or whatever you need to do with it. It really works.
Release your faith now by calling for your free packet of miracle spring water. It's free just for calling.
Hold on, that was the wrong one, because on the other one, he literally said, don't let the devil trick you. Don't let the devil trick you into sowing the seed. Same thing she said.
Yes.
Go ahead and tell them a little bit more about the things that she was having her minions to do, beloved, as far as people's channels and other things like that. While I'm looking for this.
She was having what she would do during her lives. You know, she would actually ask us and going over to Twitter and Instagram and spamming people's pages who would give their opinions on what's going on in the news and stuff like that. People that she wanted us to go over there to Twitter and go over there to Instagram and spam their pages. You know, she couldn't do it herself because everyone has her blocked. You know, and for the blocked, you know, it's okay for you to send us out there, you know, to do your dirty work, but behind the computer, you know. And then, of course, I mean, you guys, Angel, have posted up when it was her saying, that's your job to take care of, you know, things in other people's chats. So that's what she wants people to do, to go over to other people's chats, spam their chats, you know, and report them. For me personally, I did go to a couple of people's chats, but one thing that was report people's chats or spam them, because that's not that's all that. Of course, because I'm loyal to you, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna listen to what they're saying, but somebody's page. You know, that was taking it too far for me. So that, but yeah, that's what she was.
Here's a receipt on that. Here's a receipt on that. Let me show this. I can't find that Peter Popoff, but you all can always rewind the video from yesterday. And that's what he absolutely said. Don't let the devil trick you. Okay, so now look at this, you all. This, hold on. It says, we did it, V-Hive. The video has been removed. At Vicki Dillard, look. Thank you to everyone who reported this filth. We are stronger together. I had faith it was coming down. So that was a video that she ordered them to get taken down from someone's channel. Mm-hmm. And they reported back and tagged her in it to let her know that they had successfully gotten the person's video taken down. She's a whole hater. Anyone denying at this point, you need to sit down somewhere. You need to sit down somewhere.
I mean, at this point, with all of these receipts that Angels dropped, that you've been dropped, all of the people who were in the Twitter space, you know, who came forward, all the people, Angel, you know, in her text messages and in her DMs, you know, the evidence and saying she has not produced any receipts at all. The only thing she can over again, which is what she says in her videos all the time, is everybody's attacking her. Everybody is hating about how she defends this person, she defends that person, but no one comes to her defense. Her to post up tweets saying that, well, Spirit is the one that revealed my loyal, you know, who weren't my loyal followers. No, it's actually the other way around.
Right.
Us, away from you. But see, that's no. They'll take it and they'll twist it.
And here's where one of her people threatened me last night. I want y'all to pay attention because my moderator saw this. I didn't even see it. Not that I'm scared, honey, because y'all know I don't play. Y'all see this? It says from Mika Thomas, you are in danger. Queen, you are in danger. Yeah, I'm so scared. I'm really frightened. This is the same person, mind you, that sent me that message last time saying that they were going to put a hex on me when I talked about Terrain Hicks. Mm-hmm.
This is
now let me go to another.
Sick.
She put another threat in there also. Here it is right here. She says, let me share this one on the screen. If you all can see that, you see where it says, Queen, you should be worried. Girl, bye. Maybe I should be, but I'm certainly not. All right. Devils don't ever scare me, honey. They just don't.
Exactly.
Okay, so with that all being said, what she has been doing is absolutely witchcraft, black magic. She calls herself a magnetic witch. And if you go to Black Magic 363's channel, and if you just type in magnetic witch, you don't even have to go to the channel. You go on YouTube and type in magnetic witch. There's a video where she was on Black Magic 363's channel, and she was talking about being a magnetic witch and magic and all that. Honey, let me tell y'all something. That has nothing to do with our ancestor spirituality. Absolutely nothing. She's doing dark arts. Tony Curtis said Queen does the 6-foot radius on sight. Okay. Vicki could have just been a real one, learned from her mistakes in prison and came out. Yes, but hold on. I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that because I have another receipt. Let me just pull this up real quick. Where did I send that to? I do believe. Hold on. Here it is right here. I'm going to pull this up on the screen. Okay, remember the elderly lady, the Archbishop? The Archbishop. Now, let me show y'all this because this is important. Because of all things, those who attack and prey upon the elderly or children, they need to be called out. They absolutely need to be called out. And I'm going to share the screen so you all can see this receipt. Now, you all see that. Okay, remember the Archbishop, Miss Josita C. Williams, right here. That's her. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what this article says. I'm just going to give you a brief. Remember, this is the woman who sued Wig and her accomplices for making her lose her house and all of that, and said that they forged her $130,000 check, right? Now, here's what she said. She was actually running for senator. She was running for Congress. If y'all can see that on the screen. Now, the Archbishop was running for Congress. And here's what she said. Williams, age 66. Now, mind you, this was like 3 years ago. So now she's approximately 69. She did this to an elderly woman, like I said. Williams, 66, said she decided to run because she thinks we need to come together as a nation. Williams, a native of Louisiana, moved to Baton Rouge from Colorado about a decade ago. She says, I can relate to the community because I've been where they are. I've been homeless before. I'm not rich. I don't have anyone supporting me. Now, why do y'all think she was homeless? And she said she moved to Louisiana, Baton Rouge from Colorado. And she was homeless. She was homeless because Wig and her low down dirty scoundrels and thugs, they got this woman's home snatched. That's why she sued them. They left this woman a black woman. So for the fool who was in my darn chat talking about, I hate to see black women fighting or attacking or whatever you said, nobody's fighting. I'm speaking truth to power. Pay attention. You might learn something. Because I'm really getting sick and tired of these nuts who sit here and act like this is just a back and forth, like a beef. Okay, like it's a personal beef. At the end of the day, no, I'm exposing this witch because she is a witch, literally. And she's taking Christian black folk, religious black folk down the wrong path to destruction, doing demonic and satanic things that are ungodly. And they may not have known these things, which is why they got tricked. She's lying, conning, and scamming them in her webinars to make money. And the things that she's telling them are not even true. Selling them snake oil. Okay? Not literally, but you understand what I'm saying. Those keys, talking about keys to activate DNA codes, ATM cards made out of construction paper. Please. This is what she's doing. It's a whole con and a whole scam. And if you know anybody in the community who's doing these things, you don't think they need to be called out?
Exactly.
You don't think we need to put them on blast? Anyone who thinks that's a problem that I'm calling her out, you're completely stupid. You should unsubscribe right now. Unsubscribe right now.
Exactly. At the end of the day, is above criticism, and you're not. When you're selling a product or you have a brand that people and that they're paying for a service, this is like any place that we go to. When you go to a station, there's a thing that's called Yelp where people leave their reviews. Mm-hmm. What makes you think that then people giving their honest reviews about how they felt when they came into contact, they gave you their money? So you think that you're above that. Exactly. She thinks she's above reproach, which further goes to show she has not changed one bit. My aunt Egypt says, are she using voodoo, witchcraft? She's using black magic. That's what she's doing. She's using black magic, period. Queen, I think I'm going to grow my hair out like Mr. Hotel. Okay, beloved. All right, good idea. And so this is all crazy. Right. This is all
Lee Hart said this is not a Tupac, the Notorious B.I.G. beef. Right. This is not.
No, it's not.
This is about witchcraft, lies, deceit, fraud, taking people's money with, under false pretenses. And at the end of the day, being a whole predator. She's still a predator, the same way she was when she went to prison, when she was charged in 2010. Same thing. It's the same thing.
And at the end of the day, she preyed on Angel when Angel weak state. We're all human beings. We all have moments where we're weak and we're around predators, and they know that they can prey on you, then that's what they'll do. That's Angel.
Exactly.
And then you tossed her and threw her away after she helped you reach the masses.
And Tony Curtis says Vicki preys on the elderly. Yes, she does. And here's the problem. At the end of the day, if you don't call people like this out, they'll continue to prey upon people in our own community. And she's sitting there, knowing that we're engaged in spiritual warfare, but she's a part of the problem. Yes, we are engaged in spiritual warfare, and she's making things worse for our people. She's a whole detriment. And let me tell you all something. If she wasn't, worried about what she'd done, if she wasn't concerned that she's being called out on her BS, why did she specifically try to go live like 10 minutes before this? Because y'all know she saw that post, because I posted it like 1 o'clock in the morning. All right, I posted like 1 o'clock in the morning. So she did all that strategically to try to make sure her people didn't come and watch this, but they'll come when they see her name in the chat.
Of course.
She can say whatever she wants. They'll come. And at the end of the day, yes, she's a spiritual predator. Absolutely, she stand. All right. So you have to call people like that out. Ray Love said a whole con. Absolutely. And then talking about, I want y'all to pay attention. She says she's going to file lawsuits, or she's talking to her attorney behind the scenes. Honey, she ain't talking to no attorney. She's not talking to any attorney because she doesn't have anything, any leg to stand on. If she wants to talk to attorneys, why doesn't she talk to the attorneys that may be suing her for her fraudulent practices? When people start suing her in civil suits for conning them out of money. At the end of the day, she was still taking money from people for mastermind classes she wasn't even conducting. It was automatically being debited from their accounts. Isn't that stealing? Isn't that fraudulent at the end of the day? Ask yourself, how would you feel if $50+ is coming out of your account every month for something that you're not even getting? And you're not told until the last minute that the class is canceled, but you get no refund. Make it all make sense. It's a whole con game, all right? It's a whole thug at the end of the day. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I just had to bring that all out. And like I said, remember, the Archbishop and Dr. Josita C. Williams, this elderly woman lost her home. You just saw in the article, she said she was homeless. She had to literally move from Colorado because she had nowhere to go after what they did to her. And she went back to Baton Rouge. All right. And that's who some of y'all are trying to defend foolishly. That sounds crazy. And here's the thing. Anyone defending Wig for these actions, you're no better than she is. And it makes us think that you're likely a con and a scammer too. The only one who would defend fraudulent activities, especially those who prey upon the elderly and still continue to lie to Black people and get money out of them in webinars over BS that they're just clearly lying, just like Peter Popoff is clearly lying. Well, if you're condoning that and you're working with this person and you're dealing with this person and you're caping and capping for this person, you're no better than this person. So we should be looking at you with a whole side eye too. Period. Okay? Now, here's the thing. We've had numerous of people saying these things about her. It's not just the queen. It's not just Michi. All right? We had Angel Love, who was once her right-hand man, said the same things. Now, you see we have Mr. Hotel saying the same thing. And we also had Ishara on here saying the same things. And just to show you how dedicated they were to her, let me just pull up this receipt real quick before we close out. Here it is right here. Just to show how dedicated, so nobody can say, oh, they're just hating on her. No, nobody's hating. Here's a picture of Ashara out here on the streets working for Wig, passing out her flyers. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Out there passing out her flyers, trying to help her build her brand. All right, only to find out that she had conned and scammed them out of money for things that she knew were never going to work. And then also pay attention to Ashara saying that she felt a heaviness when she had that key around her neck. And when she took it off, the weight was lifted. And even before we started, what did she tell me and you? She told me and Mr. Hotel, before we even went live, she said that she picked the key up because I asked her to show it to me. And when she picked it up, and then she set it down, she said she felt like a heavy
felt something.
She felt like some type of dark energy or something. So it's clearly, and here's the thing. Wig said that she had put that key on her altar and that she prayed over it, not prayed over it. She said she chanted over it. She put it on her altar and chanted over it and did some type of ritual or something. And that is likely a spell that she cast. And for some of her subscribers who are still fighting tooth and nail to get her name cleared, which they can't, they're likely under some type of black magic spell. Exactly. All right? That's exactly what I believe it is, because she's sitting there dabbling in the dark magic and saying all these wicked things or whatever. She is sage, anyone? Says Queen Candy J. Absolutely. Okay. And so with that all being said, honey, we just had to put this out there. Even the elder Barbara Rashawn said he believes concerning Wiggy Smalls. Not Wiggy Smalls. Queen is going to have a real special guest. Tune in, family. Tony Curtis says Queen is going to have a real special guest soon. Tune in, family. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. We want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you follow the Queen on Instagram at QueenAhmadiyyah. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah fan page and follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. And let me just tell y'all something. Y'all see why she was telling people to flag my channel? Y'all see why she was telling people to flag Meech's channel and other people's channels?
Yeah.
Because she don't want to lose her subscribers to people who are actually telling the truth. Okay,
exactly.
That's what she didn't want to do. At the end of the day, Mr. Hotel was one of her devout followers, subscribers, one of her devout people who was giving her money, donations, going to her webinars, buying those fake keys and the ATM cards and all of that, right? Not just for himself, but also for his father. So he was spending double the money. He was contributing to her financially and all of that. And where is he now? On the Queen's channel.
Exactly.
And when he was
Queen. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so when he was following both of us, she was in my chat. Now I want y'all to marinate on that for a second, because this is the same witch, literally, who said that I was obsessed with her because I commented on her post. She was in my chats, literally in my chats. Saw him in there. So let's just look at it like this. She comes under troll accounts and gets in our chats and trying to figure out what we're doing. Pay attention, honey. This woman is clearly beyond nefarious, if you ask me. She's diabolical. And only a hater would be in people's chats under an incognito, trying to see if any of their people are in there. All right. And she absolutely sent that girl KK to infiltrate my chats. That's what she absolutely did. And then had that girl to block my main subscribers. And then the next thing you know, they were moderators for weeks. Pay attention. All some nefarious. Honey, nobody has to hate on her. Who wants to hate on somebody who's practicing black magic and witchcraft, honey, and who's clearly dealing with the dark arts? So anyway,
that's what
did you have anything else to say, beloved?
I just want to say this last thing. You know, it kills me that she continues on with this narrative that, you know, we ended up being haters, really supporting her. Vicki, you know that that's not true. Why would anyone spend it on something that they don't believe in, on someone that they don't support? I actually was sponsoring other people and her webinars so that they could be a part of something that I thought fit them, something that I thought would benefit the community. Supporting another black, what we're supposed to do as black men. We're always supposed to support our black women. So at the end, there's no, you can't attach hater to that.
Exactly. The only one who would even try to attach hater to that is someone who had absolutely.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed. Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden. Queen.
We are denied